is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and I have a process video for you today. So I am using my favorite stencil from Heidi Swap that I got as a gift from my friend Christina. So if you can kind of see in the photo, my husband has a hat on it. It has a hat on it. Has a hat on, and it has some sunbursts for Arizona. And so that is where I am pulling this kind of idea for the layout from initially. So I'm just going to do the top half of the layout, and I am just painting it on with a paintbrush, and I am using the shimmers in Sunflower. And after I took it off, I noticed that it didn't go all the way to the end of the paper, so I'm just like hand brushing it on and making it a little bit darker. So I maybe should have waited and put a second coat on before I took the stencil off, but it's fine. It's not going to be perfect, and I'm very good with that. So I am going to let this dry a little bit. Oh, I did add a few little splatters. And I have a really bad tendency when I do splatters to somehow get splatters on my picture. So anytime my picture is sitting there, I have to try and remember to flip it over so I don't get splatters all over it. So this is a picture of my husband and then our friends at the Waste Management Open in Phoenix last year, and stole this picture from his phone, and I love it. So I decided to make a layout with it. So what I did was I loved the idea of our friend's outfit is like a navy, so I was pulling that in, and I just picked a few different pieces of navy, and then I picked this floral. So then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to add in that green and pink as well into my layers. So I'm just using my scraps to do a bunch of layers on the back of my photo. And this is sped up quite a bit because, spoiler alert, yeah, all that layering that I'm doing, yeah, it's for nothing. I got it done, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like going through embellishments, and I am looking through my stash, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to put with this. I'm like, I'm not liking it. I'm not sure why I'm not liking it. Here I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to pop it up on some foam. And then I turn the camera off, and I was like, nope, this is what I'm doing. I just have a very small amount of my Indigo and Ivy from Pink Paisley, and I'm going to use that. So that's exactly what I did. So now you get to see me layer again. So I have an addiction to paper, and I have an addiction to layers. So the more paper that I can get on a layout, for me, is like love. And there's really not like a method to my madness of layering, other than I don't tend to do full mats. I tend to do just like a little bit on this side, then a little bit on this side, which works out really good when all you have left is scraps. So you can go ahead and do that. You don't have to worry about making a full mat all the way across. Now, this little guillotine trimmer is like the perfect trimmer for all of these little layers. I absolutely love it. And you can cut the tiniest of sliver of paper off, and it works perfect. So I'm contemplating using some of the cut aparts, but I don't end up doing that. And you can see I have kept even the smallest pieces of paper, and they are perfect for layering. It's just that little bit to go in between. And even sometimes a branding strip can work really well. That particular one I wasn't really loving, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those off. But I do have a video coming up, and it is using even more leftovers. So you may be looking at my pile when you're done and being like, that's just all garbage. Well, it's not. I ended up making an entire layout with the scraps of my scraps. So super excited about that. So I do have a couple of the branding strips left, and I'm going to layer 3 of them on the bottom. And that just brings some of that same pattern paper that I have up in the layers behind my photo down to the bottom of the paper and kind of ground it. I did contemplate putting like one strip across where the end of those kind of sun rays come up. But then I just felt like it was just gonna like cut the page in half, and it didn't seem right. But the grounding of the bottom I absolutely love. So that is gonna kind of do it for the papers. I decided I was going to reuse the foam. And in doing that, I pulled that little piece of vellum off, and it just fit perfectly there, like where it was before. So I have a few pieces of embellishment and a few little cut aparts left. So I'm going to kind of go through those and make a little cluster in that bottom right hand corner, as well as put a couple tabs up there on the top of the photo. I think it says favorite and best day, I believe. And then on the bottom, I'm using that happy place, which is super fun because my husband has many happy places, but one of them is on the golf course and definitely at the Waste Management Open. So I didn't put any journaling on this yet. I think that in reality, I'm probably just going to write waste management and then 2019. So I thought about adding this piece of ephemera that says you make me feel, because I thought it would kind of be a good title, but it's just too big. And I end up making a card with it. So that actually does not make it on a scrapbook layout, even though it is like a super, super cute piece of ephemera. And that's kind of what I do when I am like down to the very end of a kit. If there's just a few little pieces, I will go ahead and throw together a couple of cards so that I have some ready to go, which I need to make a few more, especially birthday, because my nephew's birthday, well, by the time this goes up, will have been like a week or so ago. And he's 13. And so I told my daughter, I said, go get Ben a card. And she's like, okay. So she brings me back this card, and I still laugh about it. So it's an orange card, and in the center, it has 2 butterflies, and then it has 2 tiny word stickers that say, sweetheart and my darling. I was like, this is for Ben? This is the card you want to give him? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm sure she didn't even look. I'm like, but it says sweetheart and my darling. She's like, okay. She just didn't want to go get another one. So I think I need to make a few more that are very specific birthdays. So I have a couple of birthday ones, and it'll be easier for her to just grab one. So while I've been rambling about cards, I just pulled a few stickers from the sticker sheet, a few florals, and then I have this set of, they're not really thickers. They're like, not really, they're a little puffy. They're from Pink Fresh Studios. They're Everyday Musings, and that is what I am pulling my title from, which is All Together Smiles. And I felt like I needed to add kind of that gold in another place. Well, two other places actually. So I'm adding this little heart as well as that floral up at the top. And that's going to do it. That is my layout today, and I went from really not liking it to absolutely loving it, so much that I came in the house and showed my husband, and he liked it as well. So I do have a couple of close-ups here for you. If you want to chat, please leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you. So remember to wear your crown. We'll see you next time. Bye.